This is a shout out for all of you multitasking superheroes out there. Are you a hardworking woman juggling career, family, and everything in between? It's time to reclaim your time and prioritize like a pro. In this episode, we're going to look at setting boundaries so that you can respect all areas of your life, including career, family life, and your self-care, so that you feel amazing. It's the quickest way to kick out burnout and find a healthier, happier you. I'm Jen Churchill, and I help women grow in confidence from the inside out and the outside in, using mindset, diet, exercises, supplements, and products so they look and feel amazing and can live their best life. Just like some of you, I'm a busy working woman navigating the chaos of life. I'm a corporate worker, I'm a busy wife, I'm a dog mom to Jess, I have a side hustle, and I volunteer for 2 amazing organisations, so I understand how busy life can be. I've also come to appreciate that my own self-care is vital if I want to stay in the hustle and bustle that I'm in. And as I'm approaching 50, I also appreciate I can't do everything like I used to think I could. So in this episode, I'm very happy to share with you how I've found how to balance my life, setting boundaries for each area so that there's always time for me as well. By prioritising my own self-care, I'm able to give to my family, to my career, and to my volunteering organisations, and to myself, because I can respect each of the areas of my life. To go along with this boundary setting episode today, I've created a special gift for you. It's a boundary setting workshop for busy women, so I hope you'll enjoy that. If you want to pause me now and download it, the link is in the show notes underneath. You can work through it as I'm talking, or if you prefer, you can download it later and work through it at your own pace. The download will help you to take actionable steps, so make sure you go and download that. So I don't think it's a secret that us busy working women, we're striving for career advancement. We're trying to do the best we can for our families, whether that's children, partners, parents. We're trying to maintain all of these social connections and be the life and soul of the party. And it's no secret that we forget about ourselves in the middle of all of that and don't put our self-care on the to-do list, and therefore it never happens because the to-do list is never finished, right? If it's anything like mine, it never is. So here is where we tap into the superpower that is boundary setting. Setting boundaries is not about putting walls up. It's not about shutting people out. It's about carving out time for yourself that's sacred for you. By defining clear limits on your time and your energy, it will put you in a stronger position to say yes to the things that are important to you and no to the things that perhaps aren't. So with the help of the free download, I'm also going to help you to be able to communicate those boundaries to your friends and family and your colleagues so that you don't come across as selfish, bullish, all of those words that you associate in with setting boundaries and not giving everything to all people. Self-care actually makes us a better person, a better parent, a better colleague. So just a quick reminder then, if you want to pop me on pause, go to the show notes. You can click for the download and you can get that now and work through it as we go. Or just wait till the end and download it then. So I hear you ask, how does setting boundaries make me a better person? Well, by defining our limits, we are able to channel time, energy, and our well-being into the things that we need to put them into. Without boundaries, we can just be giving and giving and giving, and potentially to the not all of the right places, and over-giving in some situations. By setting boundaries, we foster an environment where we've got some self-respect for ourselves and we inflict that respect on other people back to us. Setting boundaries is the ultimate act of self-love because it allows us to be all of the different roles that we need to be in our lives as busy women. You can put the mum hat on and do that well. You can put the work hat on and do that well. You can do the daughter hat and do that well, just by giving yourself some restrictions on how much you're actually giving out. And I hear you that I'm suggesting that you're going to say no to some things, and you're very worried about how that's going to come across. So as I mentioned, effectively communicating these boundaries and limits is essential so it doesn't cause conflict or disapproval. And actually, the people you're asking to have those boundaries with you are the people that love and respect you. So all relationships like that should thrive on openness, honesty, mutual respect, And that's what you're asking for. By expressing our needs kindly and firmly, we're inviting understanding. Actually, what we're trying to do is build better connections with those that we love. And most importantly, it's okay to say no when it doesn't serve you. So as I mentioned, in the download that goes along with this blog today, there's an entire page dedicated to some ways that you can communicate these new boundaries to your loved ones. There's also a meditation in there that can help you get clear on what you want before you start approaching them about these things. And just to say, of course, boundaries in the workplace are super important, almost more important than at home. So how do we go about setting the boundaries? Number one, we've got to identify what those priorities are. And that's why I'm sort of saying to you, spend some time actually identifying what those priorities are, first of all. And what I've done in the workbook is giving you some prompts for reflection so that you can get clear on what your priorities need to be. Number two, establish some time blocks. So I'm a huge advocate of this. If you haven't seen my blog on vacuum hours, I strongly recommend you do that. And I will leave a link for that also in the show notes below today. It's all about setting some time for specific tasks, setting an alarm, taking all of your distractions away, such as emails and phones and anything that can bing and bong at you, and really focusing in on what that task is. And it doesn't matter if that's a home task, a family task, a you task, a work task, whatever it is. So go over and check that out if you haven't seen that one already. Number three is learn to say no. And what you need to understand here is that saying no is not a rejection of the other person. It's just a confirmation of where your boundaries are. If they're asking something of you that sits outside those boundaries, kindly but firmly, the answer is no. Number four is create a relaxing space. It might be a room in your house, a chair in the garden, maybe even your bath. Wherever it is, it needs to be a place where people understand if you're retreating to there, it's a do not disturb, I'm recharging. And number five is unplug regularly. That means from the screen. My advice to you is set limits on the amount of time that you're on technology, especially during your self-care personal time. Unplugging is really the only way to true relaxation. Try a jigsaw, colouring for adults, taking a walk, taking a bath. In the workbook, there's also 3 ideas for taking 5 with visualizations that you might want to read through. As I've said, I've also included a lovely meditation called Good Boundaries, which is about 16 minutes long. Find somewhere comfortable, chill out and listen to that. So this is my message to you. I recognise you. You're a busy woman. You've got a lot going on. And you need to understand that setting boundaries is not a luxury for you. It's an absolute necessity so that you can be all the things to all of the people. It's a declaration that your self-care matters and it needs to be a priority so that you can support the others around you afterwards. My advice to you is take back the power of saying no to something if it doesn't serve you and it sits outside of your centre. And also take back the power of saying yes to yourself, and you'll see what a transformation that brings to you. Remember that you are worthy of a balanced life that allows you to thrive in all areas of that life. If you start setting boundaries today with the use of the workbook as well, you'll see a happier, healthier you in no time at all, and you won't believe the transformation. So we're drawing to the end of the blog, but of course your work starts now. So if you haven't already, I recommend that you download the workbook and start working through the actionable steps, the areas for reflection, so you can get really, really clear on where you need to make some changes in your life. The meditation that's also in there will help you do that. So thank you for joining me today on this journey of discovery and growth. Together we can conquer the challenges of modern life and we can start finding balance one boundary at a time. I wish you all the best on your adventure to setting boundaries and finding new balance. I would love to hear your feedback. And of course, if you've got any questions, please let me know. So underneath here, I would really love a thumbs up and a comment. And you can also subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed this. In the meantime, you have a great week.